Hansa Fish River Canoe Marathon is proudly brought to you by Hansa. Day one, and a field of around 1,700 paddlers gathers at Grass Ridge Dam for the start of the 2011 Hansa Fish, doubling as the SA K2 champs. The Lamar start for A-Batch, and all the A-Batch seeded paddlers desperate to get onto the water first. A quick paddle across Grass Ridge Dams means you're going to be one of the first paddlers onto the portage. Unfortunately, the early pace setters for the paddlers was this crew, Hank McGregor and Grant van der Walt. Already solo leaders by Double Trouble, which they made look like child's play, being chased here by Greg Lowe and Mike Arthur, having a blinder of a start to their Hansa Fish. Then the churning waters of Keith's fly over. Hank McGregor and Grant van der Walt, not another boat in sight as they go pounding through the crashing waters of Keith's. Greg Lowe grew up on these waters, Mike Arthur, his partner, helping him through it. Not all that good for everybody. Pierre-Andre Rabi and Andy Burkett taking the less liked line through Keith's. As the race wound on into its second hour, there were 4 boats in the dice for third place, but the dice for second was a 1-boat race at this stage. All Greg Lowe and Mike Arthur. But just look how much fun Hank McGregor and Grant van der Walt are having as they go under the bridge at Soutpunts Drift Rapid and make it to the finish with a 4.5-minute lead.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Grant was just super strong all the way to the finish, and like I say, we got here in one piece, we're in front, we're winning, and yeah, that's what the fish is all about, just to have a great race.
Back to the dam and the start of the women's batch. All the seeded women running down to the water to their craft. Lamar start and shrapnel style, as nobody's quite sure who's going to be setting the early pace. Here's the answer to that question. Hilary Pitchford and Abby Adey in the blue boat quickly setting themselves up as the crew to beat, ploughing through the wave at Double Trouble. Just behind them, sprinters Jen Hodgson and Tiffany Kruger, also making Double Trouble look easy. Now, here's a major statement from Abby Adey and Hilary Pitchford, deciding to shoot Keith's flyover, so often portage by the top ladies. This is a carefully schooled line. Jen Hodgson and Tiffany Kruger have decided they're not up to the challenge, they won't take the risk, so they forfeit the 1.5 minutes and walk around. Not all plain sailing as swim at Soutpunts Drift for the leaders, but then down to the finish, and the crowd saw something special happening here. They had a 6-minute lead as they came cruising into Knutsford.
We had a wonderful run through Keith's, which was fantastic. I mean, Abby drove like an absolute star.
The bottom of Soutpunts, in that last stop, I don't know what happened. Just we were out in no time, so I don't actually know what happened there, but.
Yeah. You're carrying the scars of a bit of a war out there?
Yeah, just had to branch in the tree block, so it hooked me on my lip.
Friday night at the Hansa Fish is all about enjoying the Klein Karoo hospitality.
Fantastic. I paddled my 15th fish today, and I just had some under salt pans, but it was great.
Very festive, very, very nice. The weather's playing along lovely. Sitting here with good friends, so you couldn't ask for better.
You know, we're just having a quick eat, and then we're going to bugger off down to the after party. It's going to be a good night, eh?
We've been training hard for fish. We've been going to training camps. You can see we're all athletes, and we're planning to peak at the right time, which is the after party, obviously.
The compound here at Knutsford quiet at the moment ahead of the storm of the start of day 2 of the 30th Hansa Fish River Canoe Marathon. It is 36 kilometers down to Cradock, where the race will finish in a few hours' time. But between here and there, for the 1,600 paddlers, plenty of obstacles to negotiate. Gauging Weir, Marlow Shoot, and of course the menacing Cradock Weir just before the finish. They'll set off in elapsed time for those who were within half an hour of leaders Hank McGregor and Grant van der Walt, who have a 4.5-minute lead over their nearest challengers. But as they know only too well, anything can happen on what is traditionally a fast day, but with plenty of obstacles in the way.
Quietly confident, up bright and early, Hank McGregor and Grant van der Walt to kickstart the 7 a.m. elapsed time. But what do they do with a 4.5-minute lead? And more importantly, what do their chasers do?
Yeah, we're just going to go hard from the start. We got the guys 30 seconds behind us. Just going to give it all, hopefully stretch that lead in the first stages and hopefully be able to hold them off over the closing stages, because they're going to be coming hard. There's a bunch of 4 and 30 seconds isn't much. So yeah, it's going to be a tough ask for us.
Yeah, let's have a good start, good first portage. Hope that we can keep the guys behind us away. Maybe catch Greg and then see what happens. It's river racing, everything can happen. We'll see.
Achim, how's the head?
The head is better now after the night. Headaches is nearly gone. I think it will work. The rib is a little problem. It hurts when I rotate, so we will see how it develops during the race.
Well, gutsy paddlers indeed, and as the vultures start assembling on the horizon, the two leaders set off, Hank McGregor and Grant van der Walt, nearly 5 minutes in the bag and with every intention of continuing where they left off on day one. There's a weir just around the corner, so neither of the paddlers has their splash covers on, and then intrigue on the bank. There's a plot about to unfold. One boat in the chasing group. This is the local Greg Lowe and his sprint team partner Mike Arthur. Question marks. How much was taken out of their reserves on the first day? And then the chasing group. A whole gaggle of fowls waiting to descend on any prey they see in front of them. It's going to be a fascinating day over the 36 kilometers into Cradock. The second day is lined with a number of low-level bridges over the first hour and a half, and that's a great place to check splits. Even though they said they weren't going to go too hard, Hank McGregor and Grant van der Walt were extending their lead over Greg Lowe and Mike Arthur. And behind them, the chasing group. Here's the move. It's coming from Tom Skilperud and Jasper Mocker. Just behind them, the Germans going strongly on day 2 as well, despite all the injuries and mishaps that have plagued them. And the rest of A-Batch jockeying for positions in the top 10 or top 20. T-Junction, one of those unnamed and previously unknown rapids, and Hank McGregor and Grant van der Walt smack it head on. Sharp left-hand turn. Hank is a masterful driver of the boat, and they managed to pull away from T-Junction clean. The question is, the margin is growing, but just how much? Click go the stopwatches. Here's local Greg Lowe leading them in. He knows there's a huge wave waiting at the bottom, so he's pulling hard left. Behind him is two chasers, the ski paddlers Tom Skilperud and Jasper Mocker get smacked by the wave, and the Germans go straight into it as well. Lowe and Arthur now having to dig deep because they are losing ground to the chasers. Piers Cruikshank and Jacques Theron leading the dice for 5th place. Just behind them, the Czech Republic paddlers, Robert Knevel and Tomas Slovak, loving the rough water. This is what they do best. Longacre Bridge and another opportunity to get the stopwatches out for the splits as they paddle past some of the debris from the cloudburst the weekend before. Hank McGregor and Grant van der Walt have added another 40 seconds to their overnight lead. Huge support from the spectators for Tom Skilperud and Jasper Mocker, whose day 2 charge has seen them move into 2nd place. And then behind them, the dice for 5th and 6th, with the Czech Republic paddlers now starting to put the hammer down.
Jen and Tiffany, you've got a challenge on your hands today. What's the plan?
Yeah, the girls have got a bit too far on us. But starting in the batch today and then elapse time, maybe we can hook a fast wave. The rules are always a bit dodgy with the girls' race. I don't know what the solution is, but we'll just give it everything we've got. Try and not take any risks, try and just manage our race. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, we never know, they could swim in Cradock, so we're not going to give up.
Now, the issue of women's racing and how they start in these long-day, multi-day races is something of a debate. Start of elapsed time, and the women have decided they want to start where they finished in the race. That means that the leaders are starting right at the tail end of elapsed time, and now here's A-Batch, and muddled in the middle of A-Batch is the 2nd-placed women's crew of Jen Hodgson and Tiffany Kruger. and you can see that it's no place for the faint-hearted. They're desperate to try and assert themselves on this batch, but there's plenty of jostling and shoving. Back up front, Abby Adey and Hilary Pitchford are styling away at the front. 6.5 minute lead after day one, and with A-Batch bearing down on them, they're going to have to pull away on their own. And in the thick of A-Batch, Jen Hodgson and Tiff Kruger. Angie Gaffney and Kim Brugman laying down a marker for the last place on the podium. Not that it's going to be all their way. Back up front at Longacre Bridge now, and the ladies' leaders are styling away, looking very comfortable. Hilary Pitchford, a seasoned rough water paddler, and the strain beginning to tell on Jen Hodgson and Tiff Kruger. Sprinters by trade, they are far more used to doing 500-meter distances than 50 kilometers in a day. Gaffney and Brugman going nicely in third. The ladies' race turning out to be a fascinating contest. The fourth place at this stage in the game, sitting with Jenna Ward and Brittany Peterson, also comfortable on the churning Milo colour waters of the Fish. Back up at the start. For the back markers, it's a relief knowing that 50 kilometres is behind and only 36 kilometres waits on the stage 2 into Cradock. It's a fun, festive mood atmosphere.
First fish, really enjoyed yesterday, looking forward to today.
This map, this is the first time we've ever done it, so we actually have no clue where we're going. So it's just a map, so we can see what's coming next, where we're going.
The vibe is awesome, it is. It's organised, clean, meticulous, no problems. It's actually too easy. Yeah. I actually want to probably start getting into an event which is more less organised, and there must be chaos. This is too easy.
Great day yesterday, bit of a shorter day today. Much better. Just hope the queue at Cradock is not too long, and then we'll be home and safe to have a couple of sponsored refreshments, a couple of Hansas.
The vibe's very good. We've had a nice social with a bunch of mates at a couple of the B&Bs. Haven't got to party yet, but we're leaving that for tonight, for sure.
There's this competition too that we're going to win. We've got our little skull on the front and our hats to win the Pimp Your Boat Pirate competition.
Go! And a ferocious contest the Pimp Me Pirate turned out to be. For the paddlers, day 2 seems like a non-threatening day, but throughout the 36 kilometres into Cradock there are steady rolling rapids, some of them quite testing, and with extra water in the river from the weekend downpour, the paddlers were guaranteed that it was going to be a rollicking ride all the way to the finish. Baroda, the first of the checkpoints for the paddlers, loving it in the sun in Cradock. Rosalie Harvey from Australia in the middle of that K3 as the paddlers pour under the bridge at Baroda. This is a far faster paced day, and with the river flowing, some fast times could be expected from the paddlers. It's also welcome encouragement from their seconds. A quick cheer on the bridge will provide mental fuel for them for the next 10 or 15 minutes.
These puzzlers decided not to look at their boats yesterday, and now they have a hole. So they realise when they get to the start line, they've got a hole in their boat, and it's a bit too late to fix it then, eh?
Bad preparation. We didn't check the boat last night. We left it to this morning about 2 minutes before we started the race, and we saw we had a little cut. I was blaming my coach at the back for not clipping on and splashing. You know, it was the hole in the boat. So we fixed up. Now we just take a little trip down to Cradock.
One laugh, one fish.
A lot of paddlers on the water doing their first fish, but a lot of them come back year after year. It's a non-negotiable part of their calendar. Rory Anderson this year becoming the only paddler to have done all 30 of the races. The paddlers are drawn back by the unique attractions of the river, the combination of the weather, and of course the unique hospitality of the region. It's a package that makes the allure of the Hunter fish totally unique. Back at the front as they start heading towards Gauging Weir, the first of 3 big weirs on the final stretch into Cradock. Hank McGregor and Grant van der Walt pulling away. In fact, their seconds are telling them that their lead is extended to around 6 minutes at this stage. Truly unique bit of Klein Karoo countryside, beautifully green after the seasonal rains, and of course the heavy cloudburst the weekend before, having prepared the scene perfectly for the weekend's racing. Up front, the gauntlet is being thrown down by Jasper Mocker and Skilperuit. Up front, a super over-the-shoulder view as they slide down Gauging Weir, Hank McGregor and Grant van der Walt, reveling in the rough waters of the fish. But all sorts of bumping and jostling at the front of the chasing pack, coming off second best here and being pushed offline, Ryan Lowe and Mike Arthur, as up front it's Skilperuit and Mocker who streak away. The 3 chasers approach the left-hand drop into Gauging Weir, and it's Tom Skilperuit and Jasper Mocker. Look at the animated Jasper Mocker urging his partner on. They've got a slight lead, and this could be the chance to make a break. The Germans are now sitting in 4th place. The race is now on, less than 10 k's to the finish. Just behind them, Michael Mbanjwa and Eric Zondi lead a big bunch into the central drop at Gauging Weir. These two set to represent South Africa at the World Marathon Champs in Singapore in 2 weeks' time. But while the pace intensifies at the back of A-Batch, here are the leaders. The chasers have just gone through the Marlow Causeway portage, and once again the heat is being applied by Jasper Mocker and Tom Skilperud. And suddenly there are fracture lines emerging in the 3-boat chasing pack. Mike Arthur and Greg Lowe a bit tatty on the put-in, and they're going to lose some ground as the Germans take off. They've now vaulted themselves up into 3rd. The huge weir at Marlow, one of the defining obstacles in the Hansa Fish Marathon, and Hank McGregor and Grant van der Walt go sliding down the chute. Have a look at this technique. Everything right, tick all the boxes. These two are a machine in its most well-oiled condition. Skilperud and Mocker's break at the Marlow Causeway has paid dividends. They are in 2nd alone as they crash through the waves at the chute down Marlow. Behind them, 3rd place now belongs to Greg Lowe and Mike Arthur. They make no problem sliding down the chute. Right at the end of the race, probably the most well-known obstacle on this entire 82-kilometer course, Cradock Weir, and the crowd becomes silent as Hank McGregor and Grant van der Walt, the race leaders by a country mile, great shot over the shoulder as they slide over the apex. Child's play, they bounce out of the water, it's all smiles. They know that barring a meteorite falling out of the sky, they are the new SAK2 champions and winners of the Hansa Fish. 2nd place now, they're pulling away. Skilperud and Jasper Mocker, nice easy landing at the foot of the chute, and they pull away from the brand new Lifesavers Rescue Tower. Here come the Germans now, Tobias Bong and Overbeck. They have a bit of a bounce to the left. That gives them some hard work to do to get out of the eddy. They can now set their sights on Cradock and the finish. The first boat there, becoming the first crew ever to win a hat-trick in this race, McGregor and van der Walt.
Hank and Grant, congratulations, job well done. I get it, no real issues today?
No, look, I think the only issue was going to be ourselves, and we took it pretty conservative right from the beginning. We just got into what we call a grind in canoeing, and yeah, we just set a good pace and went all the way until Gauging Weir before we started pushing hard. We were trying to go for the record. I believe we did get it, so yeah, I'm stoked for it. It's my 4th in a row and 3rd with Grant, so I'm pretty stoked.
A great result and a superb result in 2nd place as Tom Skilperud and Jasper Mocker come coasting home alone to take 2nd place and the fastest time on day 2. Back to the ladies' race at Gauging Weir, and Abby Adey and Hilary Pitchford go slowly into Gauging Weir and they almost lose it. Abby Adey loosening her splash cover in the process. She keeps a cool head. They've got enough composure to smile about it as they head off with their lead now, 8 minutes. Let's go to the 3rd place crew of Kim Brugman and Angie Gaffney as they hit that square on with enough boat speed to be able to pull away and enjoy the occasion. 4th place at this stage belonging to juniors Jenna Ward and Brittany Peterson in their green boat. Calm and composed. There's a great future in store for the juniors coming through the ranks into seniors women paddling in years to come. Also sliding down the Marlow Causeway, the girls not threatened by or daunted by the size of these obstacles as they take them on and are happy to mix it with the men and the boys around them. Cradock Weir now, the big decision. Will the women continue their statement made by shooting Keith's flyover by shooting Cradock Weir? The answer is no, as the leaders have earned the luxury of being able to run around, sacrifice that minute, and Abby Adey and Hilary Pitchford decide that they will put in with the zero risk option and run around the weir. That example that they set seems to have been followed by some of the other women's crews behind them. They can then stroke their way through the golf course rapids and then on down to the finish where they can claim what is going to be a remarkable 10-minute victory. And for Adey, a perfect return for her brand new Team Best 4 Kayak Centre.
It went all according to plan, I would assume?
Yeah, we did. We had a very nice day today. We decided not to shoot Cradock when we got there as well. We weren't tempted by the crowds or the other paddlers or the guys that we just passed. Said splashies off, and we both diligently took our splash covers off. I got left behind a bit on the portage, so I was scrambling a bit. The rest of the day was just phenomenal. I mean, we did have a very, very good day today. It was lovely.
So a comfortable victory margin, but a great performance to snatch the silver medal for these two, Jen Hodgson and Tiffany Kruger. So look back at the overall standings in. McGregor and Van der Walt smashing the race record in snatching their hat trick. Skilperut and Mocker excelling. The internationals peppering the top 10. The women's race, a massive victory margin for Pitchford and Abby Adey, with Hodgson and Kruger taking the minor placings with Kim Brugman and Angie Gaffney. So let's go back upriver and work out some of the reasons why the paddlers vote with their feet and their boats and their paddles every year, making the Hunter Fish their favourite race of the year. One of the features of day 2 is definitely the 3 weirs. The first of those is gauging weir. Here's a K3 bombing down the left-hand line. Getting it right is guaranteed to send whoops of delight all around that boat. It's also a great spot for the spectators to enjoy all the action, and a variety of options for the paddlers. Here's Brewery's man, Alan Long, sliding into gauging. Oh my word, he's not going to want us to see that, is he? But he's going to bounce himself out of trouble and continue on his ways, raising money for the Cradock Cancer Care Unit. Oh, there are rocks under the surface. This is not the way to discover them though. From gauging weir, the paddlers wind down to another very distinctive landmark. This is the Marlow Chute, and another great thrill ride down the fish steps. On board now. This goes really deep for the paddler in the front. Away safely. The Marlow Chute was built onto the front of the massive Marlow Weir, in line with the race committee's philosophy of making this a 100% paddling adventure and eliminating the portages around the many weirs that span the route between Grassridge Dam and Cradock. It's created one of the adrenaline rushes that the paddlers will take with them and keep them thriving on this race until they get back to do the race next year, even if you do take an unplanned goof in the chilly waters of the fish. Shortly after Marlow Chute comes the portage around the low-level Marlow Causeway. It's a welcome opportunity to stretch the legs and grab some refreshment before the final hour pull into Cradock. The mood is light, the adrenaline is still coursing through the veins of the paddlers, and many of them are determined to run it to try and extract whatever advantage they can on the run.
We're going lekker man, showing these youngsters how it's done. Best race in the country.
Yeah, we've had a great time. Very good, thank you. How you guys doing?
Yeah, fantastic man, a wonderful day. Nice to stretch your legs.
Yeah, get down the water, eh? Swimming's only for fish.
Cool, thanks. How you doing?
Hey, fantastic, eh? It's my 10th and I've got a super partner there, man.
Awesome, just waiting to get to the finish, eh? Tired from yesterday.
Very good, very good. Should we get some beer?
Found the mythical rock at gauging. One rock. Everyone talks about it. I didn't believe it actually existed. Planted it so hard. Stayed in, but as you can see, there's not much left for the front end of that boat.
Having come this far, the paddlers are determined not to quit. This is the heart and soul of the race, and paddlers club together to make sure that anybody who's struggling gets all the assistance they deserve. There's a great camaraderie amongst the paddlers on the river. It's one of the unique aspects of it. Cradock Weir, now this is the one that every paddler wants to claim and to take home as bragging rights. Landing Cradock Weir is an exhilarating experience, this K3 doing it absolutely spot on. There's always a crowd gathering and, it's an appreciative crowd. It doesn't always go right. The recent floods have scoured out the bottom of Cradock Weir, meaning that the boats can take a slightly straighter line without risking pegging their nose. This one, however, was a little misapprehensive, a little overjudgment. Oh, here we go. Ready for the big occasion and getting punished for being a little bit too gruesome for Cradock Weir. Boat pace is also critical. The lifesavers on hand to make sure that the new life-saving tower can provide quick and easy rescue for any of the paddlers who fall out at Cradock Weir. Now the portage, a way to get around without risking it all.
Pretty good. Swam twice, stupid swim. Swam now, sucks, but looking forward to the beer.
Hot weather, booze, chicks. What else could you ask for? I mean, it's perfect here.
From Cradock Weir, there's 20 minutes of great paddling through some rough water, including the golf course rapids, until you get to the finish. It's a thrilling way to end the race, and then paddling into the outskirts of Cradock. And for each paddler, the unique appeal and satisfaction of having completed the Hansa Fish Marathon. There's plenty of excitement, hype, music, adrenaline, the smell of food, cooking, music blaring, and the paddlers who get to the finish, each and every one of them feels like a hero and a winner in their own right. Claiming it too has become part of the tradition, particularly for the InterVarsity contingent. Even the grim crew that fell out at Cradock were able to claim full line honours at the end. Along with the medal comes the reward of that ice-cold Hansa and an opportunity to kick back and relax and exchange war stories.
What an awesome race, eh? Lucky number 7 for me, and in the K3 for the first time. It was absolutely incredible. Definitely recommend it to anyone that hasn't paddled the K3 yet.
We had an excellent race, except the last little bit got sucked under the weird Cradock, but at least the lifeguards are there that pulled me out. But it was a great fish, and I'm very excited for the party tonight. Might just rock the beard again and drink a little bit of Hansa.
The special ingredient of the Hansa Pilsner is the SARS hops, but the special ingredient of the Hansa fish is the paddlers, because the paddlers make this event. This is a paddling race of epic proportions, for paddlers, by paddlers, and that's what makes it special. And on top of that, obviously, we got the 30th, which is a birthday year, so it's been a fantastic event.
It was very good. Tim paddled singles, we were in doubles, so we just sat together because we all part of the same university, UK to them. And then I dropped them at the end to beat them. Yeah.
A table full of trophies to be handed out to worthy recipients. Every single one who finished this 30th edition of the Hansa Fish River Canoe Marathon certainly deserves a trophy. A remarkable event and a remarkable performance by Hank McGregor and Grant van der Walt. A world-class performance in breaking the overall record and stamping their name as Fish River greats. Hilary Pitchford, in her 10th race, gets onto the podium for the first time and onto the very top step alongside Abby Adey. A fitting finish and tribute to the 30th edition of the Hansa Fish River Canoe Marathon.
The Hansa Fish River Canoe Marathon is proudly brought to you by Hansa.